How high do you turn that up?
Hmm?
Did you just set it to
I didn't touch it.
the temperature?
I didn't touch it.
All right. Just check. All right. We are live. And I will put a link in the chat for my website if you want to see more yoga and connect. And today we have a special guest joining us. One of my favorite yoga students and partner in life. He will be demoing his own modifications, living in a very stiff body. And I will be able to teach more, but I will also be demoing in a less stiff body. So if you want to watch and follow along, or just listen in, whatever you like to do, welcome and good morning. We're going to be working with some shoulder opening to a fun balance pose. So we're going to start on our backs in Shavasana, as we normally do. And we're going to have a little chat about one of the other 8 limbs of yoga. So last week, we talked about the asanas and the pranayama, which is the physical postures and shapes we do in yoga to better connect. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the yamas, which is the first limb of yoga. All right, so lie down if you didn't already get there. On your back. Settle in here, maybe closing the eyes. And start to give yourself a little body scan. Notice how you're feeling, starting from the crown of your head. Down to your ears, your neck, your shoulders, your chest and your abdomen. Notice how your hips are feeling. Down through your thighs and your knees, your shins and your calves, through your ankles and down to your toes. And then back up through the fingertips, the palms, the wrists, all the way up through your upper arms and back. And here, as you scan your body, try to notice what's happening without any judgment, and be truthful to yourself. This is the start of how we're going to think about the first limb of yoga, which is yamas, which is how you conduct yourself for yourself. So, what you do to respect yourself. And within that limb, we'll talk about satya, which is truthfulness. So, being true to yourself, but also being truthful to yourself. And as you're laying down and noticing how your body is, be truthful to yourself. Notice if things come up, if some things aren't feeling great, that's fine. Make some modifications. Be truthful to yourself. Start to notice the breath. Start deepening the breath. Using that breath to bring your attention back to that truthfulness. Taking a few breaths here, seeing if you can fill up the belly before the chest. Biggest breath yet today. Let it out slowly. Do this on your own, listening to your body. If you'd like to add the Ujjayi breath, keeping the mouth closed, like you're fogging glass from the back of the throat on your exhales. And that whisper. You start moving the fingers and the toes here. As we're going to work on shoulder and chest opening stretches. How to be true to yourself. Don't push past any limitation. Honoring your body and yourself by being true. Moving the wrists and ankles. Start to flex the feet. Maybe bring them to hips width distance. Staying long on the ground, but just engaging through those legs. And then bring your arms out to a T in line with your shoulders. Still flat on the ground, not much effort here. And as your arms are in line with your shoulders, start playing around with palms face up and palms face down. Playing around with that external and internal rotation of your arms in the arm socket, in the shoulder socket. So when your palms are face up to the sky, you have that external rotation, that chest opening through the arms. Your arms are externally rotated in the shoulder socket. And when you turn your palms face down, you're internally rotating those arms in the shoulder sockets. Now just play around with how your shoulders are feeling as you internal and externally rotate them gently. And then from here, bring your hands up over your chest. Pick up your arms and reach them towards the sky, stacking your arms long here. Your wrists over your shoulders. And go ahead and plug your shoulder blades. So I have to wiggle down a little bit. See if you can plug your shoulder blades into the ground. Palms facing each other here to start. And go ahead and turn your palms more towards your face. And then away from your face. Get a little bit of that warm up our shoulders. Externally rotating and internally rotating. External rotation when the palms are facing up, our face. Internally rotate when the palms are facing away. And then bring your palms back to face one another. Come back through stillness. And then reach your arms up and overhead, reaching them towards being in line with your ears, but they never have to be in line with your ears. Keeping that engagement through your shoulders, wrapping your shoulders in towards one another so that you create some stability here as you're reaching your hands overhead. And don't let your body bend here, engaging through the abdominals and the front core of your body, keeping your legs engaged and letting that engagement draw up through the hips and through the abdomen, keeping your body in line as if you didn't have your arms overhead. Finding that opening just through the shoulders. We're going to do some little arm circles here. So reaching your arms out to a T, keeping them hovering off the ground. And then up over your body, stacking your hands over your shoulders, and then letting them reach overhead and back, and then down to a T, and then up over your body. And doing some circles like that. And notice, where's your breath? Where's your mind? Be truthful to yourself, because you're the only one judging it. It really doesn't matter if you don't let it matter. If you wander, come back, feel it, breathe it. One more time here, one more circle. And then come back to stillness, reaching your hands up towards the sky, stacking them over your shoulders. And one more time, try picking up one shoulder at a time to roll that shoulder blade underneath your body. And then plug those shoulder blades into the mat underneath you as you reach your hands up to the sky. And then engage through the legs, flex those toes up to the sky, engage through the front of the body, draw your belly button down towards your spine, and we're going to slowly roll up to seated, using those abdominals like a sit-up. You can start reaching your hands towards your toes, and as you exhale, slowly roll all the way up to seated. Sitting up tall here in Nardandasana, bring your hands by your hips, palms face down. Rolling those shoulder blades back and down your spine here. Flexing through your feet. Waking up those hands a little bit. Sitting up tall here, if you can sit up without your hands, go ahead and take your hands off the ground and bring them to your lap for a moment. And if this does not feel stable, you can cross your legs and sit up tall here, or you can stay with the legs out. Finding a long spine wherever you are, hips drawing into the ground. Bring your hands to the back of your head, maybe interlace your fingers behind your skull, bringing it to the base of your skull, the top of your neck. Reaching your elbows wide here, broaden through the chest, and tilt your head ever so slightly back, looking up at the sky. And as you exhale, go ahead and round your head down, bringing your elbows together in front of your face. And as you inhale, open up, expand to the chest, long spine, maybe look up. Full breath in. Exhale, round down slightly, squeeze out that air, bring your elbows together in front of your face. Inhale, open up, open the elbows, open the chest, long spine, maybe look up. And then exhale, elbows together, round down, squeeze out that air. Inhale, open up, maybe look up, long spine. Last time, exhale, round down, squeeze out that air, elbows together. Inhale, open up, long spine, and stay here. Seeing if you can get your elbows any wider, as if you want to bring your elbows back behind your head. Having a long spine here, maybe look up. One more breath. And then release your hands. Exhale, shake out those legs. Cross them at the ankles. We're gonna roll over into a tabletop position. Stacking your wrists underneath your shoulders, and your knees underneath your hips. Bending the long spine here, bringing your head in line with the rest of your spine, maybe looking a few inches in front of your mat. I'm gonna go through a few cat-cows. If you want to do a variation, move swaying your hips side to side to do more circular, you can. Or regular cat-cow. Inhaling, chest reaches through the arm, tailbone reaches to the sky. Big full breath in here. And as you exhale, dome your back to the sky, squeeze out your air. Inhaling cow, expanding through the chest. Exhaling cat, rounding your back to the sky. 3 more at your own breath, your own pace. Inhaling cow. Exhaling cat. 2 more. Inhaling. Exhaling. See if you can find your Ujjayi breath again on this last one. And then come back through center to stillness. We're going to bring the right hand up and off the mat, reaching that hand forward like you're going to shake somebody's hand. Trying to reach that arm up towards your ear, but releasing the shoulder blade away from your ear. So the upper arm is reaching towards your ear. Holding here, finding stability through your hips. Notice if your hips sway here. Make sure your hips are over your knees. Reaching long spine. And then reach your arm out to the side, palms face down, in line with your shoulder. And then curl that hand under and start to reach that palm face up underneath your arm and your chest in your elbow cave area. And then reach your head down to the ground for a nice thread the needle here. Take any variation that you like, maybe keeping that hand on the ground, maybe bring it in front of your face and look at that palm as you press the palm into the ground, reaching your chest up. If you need more, you can reach that arm up to the sky. You can even bind here, reaching, internally rotating that arm to tuck the fingertips into your hip crease. By staying with your palm face down. Notice if your hips are swayed over to the side. Can you bring them more in line? Breathing here. 2 more breaths. Big full breath. And press that left palm into the ground. And so much that you start to reach that right shoulder off the ground, peeling yourself back up. And then reaching that right arm back out to a T, back where we started, holding it here for a moment. And then bringing it in line with your ear, reaching that arm forward, seeing how your shoulder's feeling now. I'm going to go ahead and plant it back down. Reset here in your tabletop position, making sure your wrists are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips. We'll just do 2 rounds of cat-cow. On your own pace, inhaling your chest through your arms, look forward, and then exhale, down your back takes down. Squeeze out that air. One more time on your own pace. Inhaling the cow, and exhaling the king. And coming back through stillness, pressing your hands and knees into the ground, finding a long spine. And then start to reach that left arm out in front between the shakes of body's hand, reaching that upper inner arm up to your ear. Holding here for a breath, just making sure that your hips stay stacked over one another. Breathing. And then turn your palm face down and start to open up your wings. Reach that hand out to the side in line with your shoulder. Getting here for a moment. Seeing if you can hold that arm up from underneath the muscles under your arm instead of the muscles on top of you. And then start to bring that left palm underneath your chest, underneath your armpit, threading that left arm underneath your body, and then bringing your head to the ground, your ear to the ground. Bring that right hand in front of your face, pressing into that hand. If you took the bind on the other side, maybe reaching that right arm up to the sky, maybe turning your palm face away from your body to tuck those fingertips into the hip crease. Or keeping your palm in front of your face, pressing into the ground, pressing the back of your left hand into the ground here. And breathing, full breaths. One more breath here. Pressing so much into your right hand that you can bring your left shoulder off the ground, coming back through center, reaching that left arm out to the side, out to a T in line with your shoulder. Notice any differences as you start to turn that palm face to your face and reach that arm up and in line with your ear. Breathing here for a moment. And then plant your left hand back down to the ground. Bring your toes together, shifting your hips back to child's pose. Reaching your hands forward so much. This time, plant the elbows onto the mat and see if you can parallel your forearms onto the mat. Bring your palms face up. And as you press your elbows into the mat, bring your palms up and over, bringing your hands to your shoulder blades. Seeing if you can walk your elbows in any amount. Taking a breath here. Seeing if you can walk your elbows out in front of you any amount. Reaching your chest towards the ground. Letting your head be heavy. Maybe your forehead falls onto the ground. Maybe it just hangs. One more breath here. Straighten the arms, bring your palms back down to the ground to regular extended child's pose here. Shifting forward up onto your knees, tucking your toes under, coming to your first down dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Pressing into your hands, pressing into your feet. Notice if you can come into stillness, great. If you need some movement, Be true to yourself. Give yourself a little bit of movement if you need it. Walking, pedaling, swaying your hips. This is your practice. And if you are moving, work towards stillness, pressing your hands into the mat, letting your shoulder blades fall down towards your hips as you wrap your upper arms in towards your face, reaching those hips as high as you can and away from you, pressing into the feet, engaging through the legs. And then shift your weight forward, coming into a plank position, knees up or down, holding your plank here for a moment. Big breath in, and as you exhale, hips up and back, shifting back to downward facing dog. I'm going to do that a few times with the breath. Inhaling, shifting to plank. Holding for a breath. And then exhale, shifting to down dog. Hips up and back. Holding for a breath. 2 more times like that. Shifting forward. Holding. Hips up and back, shifting back. Last time. Shifting forward and hold. Holding your plank here, knees up or down. And we're going to play with an awkward plank. So you're going to walk your hands up past your mat and off your mat. Using the abdominal muscles so that your mat doesn't slide away from your feet. Arms out long, tuck your tailbone slightly here, long spot. Shaking a little bit. Breath here, inhale, exhale, hold. On your next inhale, walk your hands back to regular plank. Oh, how easy regular plank feels now. And shifting back to downward facing dog. Breathing here. And then start to walk your hands back to your feet. Feet hips with distance here. You're gonna have a ragdoll forward fold. Letting your body be loose, bending your knees, getting your belly to your thigh if you can. Maybe grab your opposite elbows, add a little bit of weight on the upper body. Hand your head, shake your head, yes. Shake it, no. And then see if you can work towards straightening your legs, engaging through the hamstrings here. Shifting your weight forward and back on the feet. And finding that place of stability throughout the feet. Be truthful. Traditionally, forward folds, the weight is more in the balls of the feet. But be true to your body. What works for you? Where do you feel the best stretch and the most stable? One big breath in here. Open the mouth and exhale it out. Release your hands from your elbows and start to press your fingertips into the mat. Then bring your fingertips up to your shins, reaching your chest long for a half lift. Ardha Uttanasana here is what this is called. Half lift as we inhale. And then fold forward as we exhale. We'll do that again. Inhale, half lift. Chest forward, head in line with spine. Chest parallel to the ground. And exhale, release. Fold down, fold forward. One more time. Inhale, half lift. Fingertips just touching the shins. And exhale, release. We're going to roll up the spine, coming up to standing by stacking one vertebrae at a time. Slowly roll up. And once you come up to standing, bring your shoulders up to your ears, and then let them fall back and down. Standing tall here, pressing into your feet. You can bring your toes to touch if you like to have Tadasana there, or keeping the hips with distance, or any variation, or play around, finding what works for you. Standing tall, pressing into your feet, release those butt muscles to engage through the legs, and start reaching your hip bones towards your low ribs. Once that is stable, open up through the chest, try to bring your sternum to the sky, reaching your hands down. Engage through those fingertips to find a long line of energy from your shoulders down to your fingertips. Closing your eyes for a moment here, can you find balance on your feet? Don't find balance from the ground up. Find balance from your center. Engaging through the legs and the torso to find balance. It doesn't come from the foot. Breathing here for a moment. Tadasana, mountain pose, strong and steady. Inhale, reach your arms out and up overhead. Keeping your torso where it is, reaching your fingertips up. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, open your arms out to the side, bend your knees slightly to fold forward. Inhale for that half lift, fingertips to your shins. And then go ahead and walk your hands out to downward facing dog. One breath here. Shifting forward to plank on your inhale. Knees up or down, doesn't matter, wherever your knees are, shift forward. Bring your shoulders past your fingertips, and then wrapping those elbows in towards your body, start to bend at the elbows. Create a 90-degree angle with your elbows. Hover for a moment, and then plant your chest down on the ground. Untuck those toes, and then bring your right arm out to the side, in line with your shoulder, out long, palm face down. And then using that left hand to press into the mat, peel that left shoulder off the mat, and start to bring your weight onto the right side of your body. A nice shoulder stretch here, stacking your legs on top of one another if you can. Wherever you are, breathing, maybe releasing your head to the mat, to the ground, finding some relaxation through this stretch. If this is feeling easy for you and you need more, maybe reaching that left arm up, trying to bring the backs of the hands together. Maybe bending the left knee, planting the sole of the foot behind the right knee. Breathing here. Opening through the chest to the shoulder. And if you took it further, bring your left hand back in front of your face. Straighten out that left leg long on top of the right leg. And start to turn your torso back to the ground. Coming slowly out of it, using that left hand as a brake. Coming through stillness. Bring that right palm back in line with your body, palm face down underneath that right shoulder. And go straight to the other side. Left palm reaches out, palm face down. Pressing into that right hand to peel the right shoulder, the right side of the body off the mat, slowly coming into the shoulder stretch. Stacking the legs on top of one another and pressing into the right hand. Breathe in here. If you need to take it further, take a moment to pause in each option to notice. Maybe this side is different. Maybe you should stay here, hang out, breathe into it. If you need to take it further, reaching that right arm up to the sky, palm face up. Maybe reaching that right arm, trying to bring the backs of your hands together, reaching that right arm up and over. If you still need more, bending that right knee and planting the sole of the right foot behind the left knee. Pressing into anything that's touching the ground. And then relax. Relax into the stretch. Easing into that discomfort. If you feel pain, back off. But if it's just discomfort from the stretch, ease into it, breathe into it. One more full breath in. Slow breath out. Bringing that right palm back to the ground in front of your face. Straightening out that right leg, stacking it on top of the left. And then slowly, using that right hand as a brake, let your torso fall back down to the ground. Bringing your belly to the mat. Taking a moment here to reset. And then bringing that left palm underneath that left shoulder. And then walk your hands back so that your fingertips are in line with your nipples here. Tucking those elbows in and back, like you're reaching your elbows, trying to get them into your back pockets. We're going to inhale through low cobra. As you inhale, bring your chest off the ground, peel your chest up, pressing the tops of the feet into the ground here. Maybe hover the hands, low cobra. Inhale and exhale. Planting the hands back down off the ground. Tucking the toes under. Go ahead and release that back bend, forehead to the ground. And as you tuck those toes under, your knees can sit on the ground or engage through the legs. So much so that your legs are reaching off the ground, toes are tucking under, holding your legs up. We're going to press up to plank. Knees up or down. And your next breath in, fill up, press up, into plank. Holding plank for a moment, and then exhale to downward facing dog. Walking yourself back to setting yourself on the mat if you walked off. Taking a few breaths here. Seeing if you can reach your chest down to your toes. Keeping those hips high, releasing your head, shaking it yes, shaking it no. And then look forward in between your hands. And slowly walk your feet to meet your hands. Seeing if you can reach your heel down to the ground before the toes. Walking all the way up. Feet together or hips at distance. Releasing into your fold. Inhale, half lift, fingertips to the shins, torso parallel to the ground. Full breath in, and exhale, fold. On your next inhale, reach your arms out, and coming up to standing, arms overhead. Finish that inhale at the top, and then exhale, bring your hands through center and down by your sides. Taking a moment here in Tadasana, closing the eyes. Then inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, bending your knees to hinge forward, folding. Inhale, half lift, fingertips to shins. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, and step back to a plank. Knees up or down here. Wherever you are, knees up or down, shifting your weight forward, shoulders over the fingertips, bending the elbows directly back, touching your ribs, hovering halfway, and then touch down. Bring your chest down to the ground. We're going to come into locust. Here, bringing the arms long by your sides, palms can face up or down. You bring one cheek to the ground or your forehead to the ground, whatever works for you. Pressing your feet into the ground here. You can keep your arms long and in line with your body, or interlace your fingers the awkward way. So moving one finger over at the base of your spine, right at the tailbone. Keeping your elbows bent here. We're not going to straighten the elbows in any of these clasped hands because we want to work on stretching the shoulders out and not the elbows. So wherever you are, we're going to inhale, start to peel that chest up and off the mat, reaching those hands down towards your feet, bring them up. If they're interlaced at the base of your spine, start to reach your elbows up to the sky, and then your palms down towards your feet, keeping those elbows bent, maybe reaching the interlaced hands off your back. Breathing here. Maybe inhaling your feet off the ground, coming all the way up, feeling like a bound locust. Breathing fully in, and exhale, squeeze and hold. One more breath in, expanding as much as you can, and then exhale, release everything down to the mat. Release your interlaced hands down to your sides. Maybe bring your feet up to the sky, down to the elbows, the knees, whatever those leg elbows are. And then windshield lower your feet side to side. Releasing any tension if there was any in the back body. Side to side here. And then release your legs back long along the mat. And tucking those toes under, setting up for a plank here. Bringing your palms face down. Fingertips in line with the nipples. Tucking those elbows in towards your body. Engaging through the legs, knees up or down. The next big inhale breath, press up to plank. And then shifting your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Breathing in downward facing dog. Looking in between your hands. As you exhale, step, walk, or float to bring your feet in between your hands. toes touching here. Inhale for a half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms out and up, come to standing, arms overhead. And then exhale, sit back into your chair. Chair pose here. Trying to keep your toes in view so that your knees aren't shifting forward. Keeping it shifted back, sitting deeper, reaching those arms up overhead. Engaging the torso to bring your chest upright anymore. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Bend your knees to plant your hands, step back to plank, or jump back with bent elbows to chaturanga. Inhale, below cobra or up dog. If you're in up dog, just the feet and the hands are touching the ground. Running through the chest, roll those shoulder blades back and down your body. And then exhale, rolling up and over the toes to downward facing dog. Bring that right knee into your chest, keeping your hips as high as you can. Come up onto those left toes, keeping your hips as high as possible. And then bring that right foot in between your hands. Plant it on the ground. Let your left knee touch down on top of those toes for your low lunge. Staying here, coming up to your fingertips, and reaching your chest forward, long spine. If you need more, coming up to bring your hands up to the top of your thigh, pressing your thigh down to reach your chest up. Maybe stay here. And maybe on the next inhale, reaching your arms up and overhead. Shifting your weight forward and back to the place where you find stability. Bringing your hips actively reaching towards one another to keep your legs stable here. We're just going to do a few arm circles. Turn your palms face out and let your hands fall back behind you. And then you can shift forward slightly to inhale your arms out and up overhead. Really using your full body here. Go at your own pace. Arm circles starting from reaching back behind you. Inhaling your arms up and exhaling, letting them fall back. Inhaling it up and exhaling back. On this next inhale up, switch directions. Holding them up by your ears and letting them fall down in front. And inhale back behind you. Fall back in front as you exhale. Inhale up and back. And exhale. And then exhale, plant your hands on either side of your right foot, tucking those left toes under, pressing up to a high lunge, planting that left hand, reaching your right arm up to the sky, opening up in your high lunge here. Keeping that right knee stacked over your right ankle. One more breath. And then exhale, plant your hand back to high lunge. And then step your foot back to downward facing dog. Bringing that left knee into your chest, keeping your hips high. Come up to the right toe tips and shift forward and plant that left foot in between your hands. Bring that right knee back down to the ground, setting up for your low lunge, shifting your weight forward and back until you find some stability from the hips. Maybe standing here, coming up to your fingertips, reaching your chest forward. Maybe coming up, pressing your hands onto your thigh, bringing your torso upright. Finding stability here, reaching the hips in towards one another. Maybe reaching your arms up overhead. And we'll just do a few arm circles, letting our arms fall back behind us and exhale. And then inhale, shifting forward, sweeping those arms up and overhead. Doing that a few times at your own pace. Exhaling and inhaling. One more time. Inhaling, arms up overhead, switch directions. Exhaling, hands down in front. And then inhaling up and back. One more time. Inhaling, arms up overhead. And exhale, plant your hands on either side of that left foot, keeping that right palm down on the ground, tucking those right toes under, coming up into a high lunge stance, keeping that right hand down onto the ground, reaching that left arm up, opening up, twisting here, left arm to the sky. Can you step your left shoulder over your right, keeping that left knee stacked over your left ankle. Breathing in. And exhale your left hand back down to frame your left foot. Stepping back into down dog. And taking a breath here. Looking forward in between your hands. At the bottom of your next exhale, step, walk, or jump your feet to meet hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Toes touch, bending at your knees. Inhaling up to your chair pose, arms up overhead. Inhale here, and then exhale all the way up to standing. And you play around for a little bit of balance. In dancer's pose, we'll start by planting the left foot into the ground. Bringing that right back foot up back behind you, bending at the knee. Finding some balance here. You can always stay here if you want. Or you can use your right hand, turning your palm face up and your elbow in towards your body. We're going to come into dancer pose. Maybe bringing that foot and hand together, grabbing the foot or the ankle, whatever you can grab, from the inner part of the foot. And then bring your knees together. Get a little bit of a thigh stretch here as you find balance. Start using that pull of your right arm to open through the chest. Getting a nice thigh stretch on the front. Breathing here for a moment. Then maybe reaching that left arm up and in line with your ear, up and overhead. Breathing here. And start to press that right foot into your right hand, reaching it back behind you. Staying upright until your body starts to tilt forward. Staying upright. We're starting to reach your left arm forward, your right foot back. Finding that balance from the torso, not from that left foot. Maybe looking at an unmoving object out in front of you and breathing. One more inhale and exhale, come back through center. Finding some humor in the balance or unbalance. And releasing that right foot. Releasing your left hand, coming back through standing. We'll just shake it out. Shake out your legs, setting up for the other side. Spreading those right toes, picking up the toes off the ground and spread your toes wide, and then plant the toes back down to the ground, creating a wider base for your foot here. Standing tall here, bringing the left elbow bent and in towards your side, palm face up. Start to come up onto, pop that left heel up, coming up onto the ball of the left foot. Bending the left knee and bringing that left foot back up behind you. This is a great place to stay. Or you can go ahead and grab that left foot from the inner part of the foot. Heel, ankle, foot, whatever feels best for you. Bring your knees back together. Using that roll of the left shoulder open from the pull of that left foot. Opening through the chest here. Getting a nice thigh stretch through the left thigh. Breathing here for a moment. Finding some stability through the core of the body. Letting your foot be gentle on the ground. Your balance coming from your center. Breathe in here, stand here. Or inhaling your right arm up and in line with your ear. Reaching that hand up to the sky. Maybe pressing into that left hand with that left foot so much back until your chest has to tip forward. Staying anywhere along the way, pressing that foot back or reaching forward. Taking a few breaths here. Expanding through the chest, opening through the quads and the thighs. Looking at an unmoving object out in front of you. Breathing. Last full breath in. As you come out of it, you can come back in. And exhale back through center. Release your knee back to the ground. And then release your foot, your hand, down the ground to Tadasana. Standing tall for a moment here. Breathing. Letting it go. Be truthful. Whatever happened, whatever didn't happen, it doesn't matter. Just know that it's a place to grow from. We're never stagnant. Always gotta grow. And then cross your ankles. Bring your right foot behind your left foot, crossing at the ankles. And then bending your knees, sit down into a cross-legged position. And then bring the soles of your feet, I almost call them the palms of your feet, the soles of your feet together, and then bringing them in towards your hips and out. Reach your chest forward, long spine here, maybe interlacing your fingers and wrapping them around the toes of your feet. Gluing your feet together here, reaching those knees away from your body as you bring your chest up and maybe forward over. Easing into this. And sitting up tall, inhale. Keeping this shape. Maybe shifting your butt forward. You're going to slowly release the hands and slowly start to round your back down to the ground. We're going to come to lying down on the back, keeping our feet touching one another. Slowly roll down to your back, keeping the feet touching one another. Maybe releasing the feet away from the body more, or keeping them tucked in. Supine Baddha Konasana. Laying down in bound angle. Breathing here, closing the eyes. Controlling one more breath fully into the belly. Biggest breath yet. Open the mouth and let it out. And then release the control over your breath. Let it come back naturally. Closing the eyes, releasing the tension around the face. Spending a few moments here. If this is too much for your hips, you can always straighten your legs out to come back to regular Shavasana. Or staying here and breathing. Listening to your body and yourself, finding the truth from within. Being truthful about your limitations, but also being truthful about your accomplishments. Respecting yourself. Learning through the truthfulness how you conduct yourself in order to respect yourself. Straightening your legs out long in front of you. And have a quick little body scan here as we finish our class. Starting from the top of the head, and releasing muscles as we go. Releasing the muscles around the eyes and the mouth. Releasing any tension through the chest, through the belly, through the hips, the thighs, the knees. Letting your feet flop open. Releasing any tension in your fingers, letting them curl in naturally. Your arms, your elbows, your shoulders. Take a moment to stay at the shoulders. Focus your attention on your shoulders. See if you can go deeper than the skin. Can you feel the bones? Can you feel your upper arm bone resting in your shoulder socket? We have a ball joint there. There's a lot of movement available. But it's not just the bone. Start to notice the ligaments and the tendons that hold the muscles and bones together. And then start to feel the muscles. Strong, stiff, loose, doesn't matter. And then start to feel the flesh, the skin on top. Maybe there's a breeze, maybe it's warm. Start to notice the external. Notice the hairs on your skin. Maybe they're long, maybe they're short. Adding more sensation from the outside world. You can start to add some movement, wiggling the fingers and the toes. You can always stay lying down if you'd like. Maybe bending the elbows and reaching your arms up overhead for a nice full body stretch. You're just waking up. Keeping one arm up in line with your ear as a pillow, bringing your knees up to the sky, planting your feet onto the ground, and falling over to one side, the right or the left. And pressing yourself up through seated. Coming to a comfortable seated position. It's cross-legged, straight-legged, whatever it looks like. Whatever's comfortable in your body. Closing the eyes and bringing your hands together palms smush in together. Bringing the thumbs into your heart. Have clear and loving intentions. Bring your thumbs to your lips. Clear and loving speech. Bring your thumbs to your third eye between your eyebrows. Have clear and loving thoughts. From my heart space, I honor and respect you. Or namaste. Bowing down to sleep. All right. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you so much for my beautiful mom.
Thank you.
For demoing. As always, these are donation-based virtual classes. If you like this and want more, you can donate through Venmo at evweezer, just like the username on here. Each week, 10% of those donations go to the Buckeye Tree Lodge for letting us use this awesome studio space, and then 50% goes to a different charity each week. This week will be some disaster relief. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and some people could use some help. And also a heads up that the schedule will try to find some stability and keep up with these Tuesday mornings. Let me know if you have any recommendations for classes or themes. But we'll be on the road, so you can follow our travel, camping, living off the grid in isolation. Each week we'll be in a different place, so it could be fun. Tune in, follow along, and thanks for tuning in this week. Have a great day.